So we are, I guess, episode 57 or thereabout. And the hardest or weirdest thing for me to do when I am by myself is start. Because when Steve is here, it's easy. It's like, Steven. And then we go from there. We shoot the shit for a little bit and the conversation just flows, right? When I'm by myself, I need to come up with I don't know, a starting an opening statement or something. So if you have any ideas, hit me up. But anyways, I'm happy to be here. Obviously, Steve is not here today. He's spending the weekend with his family, and we usually record on Thursday or Friday. And I was out of town most of this week, so we missed each other. And Steve will be traveling to Indiana. So by the time this drops on Monday, he'll be teaching more undercover tactics. And if you don't know what that means, refer. I believe 2 episodes ago, I will link it to to this episode, but where we discuss what we do in those classes. But it's going to be for a few days in Indiana, enlightening other officers and making sure they stay safe when they do their plain clothes or undercover operations. Um, and I suppose because we're on camera and I am here with you, I'm not drinking alone, but I'm going to take a sip. It is Friday, and I don't know, need to start the weekend. But let me go right into it. Today's episode, as the title suggests, it's about the three groups, and what I mean by that is the three groups that I believe every person in general, but really every man in particular, and especially those in positions of leadership, be it entrepreneurs, military and law enforcement, obviously, uh, but really any person can benefit from this. The three groups that you need to belong to, and it's something that is very dear to my heart because for the longest time I tried doing it all by myself, right? And to this day, people will still say that I am, for the most part, doing things by myself. What they don't realize is how many people I'm involving in the background, right? And the reason I wanted to talk about it this week is because while I was away, although on family vacation, I did have the opportunity to run across and chat with a few friends, other entrepreneurs, and people that are doing great things on their own, and uh, and the topic kind of comes up, right? It's not spoken of in the terms of the three groups, but we all refer to these three categories of people that we rely on for our own growth. And whatever name or terminology you give it, it is at the end of the day the same thing. So, what I'm going to share with you for the next few minutes is the three groups that you need to surround yourself with, and I'm going to give you an action item at the end to go ahead and follow through on identifying and starting or joining those groups. So the first group is actually a concept known as the mastermind, right? It's a concept that was made famous by a guy named Napoleon Hill. He wrote a book called um, Think and Grow Rich. If I'm not butchering the name, a lot of good nuggets in that book, and that book is a standard for a lot of business people and entrepreneurs. There's a lot of concepts in it that are very important and certainly help a lot of people. But one of them, it refers to what's called a mastermind group. And in the mastermind group, it is a collection of individuals about the same level as you who, by coming together, their brains, and he mentions it in a more, I would say, metaphysicist, metaphysics. I don't know. I should really brush on my English before I do podcasts. But I would say almost spiritual, right? Manner, in the sense that when all these great minds come together in one room, they start affecting each other and their frequencies get aligned. And then one mind becomes as big as the collective minds, right? So it opens you for creativity, better ideas, better execution, better resources, and so forth. In my mind, really just being in a group with others who, and again, these are people that are about your level. So from a business standpoint, let's say I created a group with other business owner in roughly the same size business from similar backgrounds, even though we offer different services and products. And that's actually, I think, key, that we don't do exactly the same. But there's no one here that is significantly ahead of everybody else or significantly behind. And in that sense, we can really help each other because issues resonate. We can relate to each other's frustrations at times or the challenges that we face. And instead of me looking at it as four minds becoming one mind, it's more of that by bouncing ideas and thoughts through people that share some of the similarities, but again, are outsiders. Um, you get these creative ideas. You get to think things differently. And as I try to come up with solutions and help my peers in the group, um, I start inevitably developing strategies and techniques that I can implement in my own group or in my own business. So by creating this mastermind type group, you are enhancing a collective and you are undoubtedly enhancing yourself in the process as well. You Some people would say that you can have one mastermind that encompasses everything. I would say that would be hard because the objectives are different. So I would have a one month mastermind group for business. So again, other entrepreneurs that are in similar position that I am, but a different mastermind group for, let's say, relationship issue, right? So if I wanted to create a group with other fathers who have four kids who are divorced and remarried and the challenges that come with that, that would be probably a different group of people than the ones that are on my entrepreneurship group, right? If I want to create a group for law enforcement or first responder leaders, right? Then again, that would be a different group because the challenges are different in the way, or if we want people to relate to them, they have to come from different backgrounds. So I would separate those groups by topic and theme. And what I found out by doing a little bit of research before getting on this podcast is if you go on Meet, I believe it's meet.com, um, essentially you put your zip code, your area, and all these groups are going to come up that you can join. And the idea behind these groups, any way they slice it or present it, at the end of the day, comes back to this mastermind idea, right? Let's get a bunch of people that are like minded in one room and we can all benefit from each other. So if you don't have a group, you should create a group. Again, think about where you are in life, what area of your life you're trying to improve, and then find people that are in similar boats. So to give you a general idea of my group, right, all entrepreneurs, all self-started businesses, all now have between 8 and 15 employees, all make a certain amount of income a year. And for our specific group, everybody is also former military. So I don't think that was the intent initially from that world, but by having those people in the same group, and again, each one of us delivers a different service or product. So we're not even competing with each other. We're just there to enhance each other, and ultimately we benefit from this cross marketing and cross branding and cross um, proliferation in a sense of channels and resources, right? Because the people that I train would be the same people that would need the products that are manufactured by the other company or service that's delivered by a third, and so forth. So find a group. Don't make it a big group, because then voices that kind of tend to get lost in the mix. What's the saying? Can't see the forest from the trees, right? So you want to keep it small, ideally between 3 and 6. 4 seems to be the magic number for most groups that I know, but find about 3, 4 people that you connect with well, that you can take criticism for, that you feel comfortable providing criticism to, and again that you all are roughly in the same starting point, and then take it from there. Just meet periodically. I try to meet bi-weekly. Doesn't always happen, but at the very least meet, monthly, where we bring up these are some issues that we're dealing with. What would you do in this case? What would you do in this case? We kind of rehash, okay, how did that project you're working on and the issue you had that we came up with solution to last month, how did that work out for you? And we all grow from that collective experience. So that is group number one. I'm going to keep calling it a mastermind group just because that's a common term, but really what I'm referring to is a group of everybody on the same level. Then you want to find a group that essentially it's not a group. You want to find at least one individual that can coach you. I spoke in the past a lot about coaching, and I'm a big fan of having mentors and people I can go to, people that have had the experiences that I'm going through right now. And the idea behind that is those people may not have all the answers. And I always say it for my own coaching idea, right? When I coach others, is I may not have all the answers for you, and my coaches may not have all the answers for me, but they've seen enough and done enough to certainly shorten my curve. So for me to not repeat certain mistakes, for them to know, well, that just won't work, or that has a higher probability of working compared to a different solution or different action. And it's someone that is removed from where you are in life right now. So they can truly give you that outsider fresh look that um you cannot see. It is just the nature of life that with time we get these, I call them blinds, put on our face, kind of like a horse, a racehorse, right? So they can look left and right. So over time, experience, good or bad, kind of shapes the way we look at the world and we look at our own microcosmos, right? So I look at an issue and I'm intentionally, I'm looking at it through the lens of everything I've done over the past, let's say, Masada, we opened 2007. So past 16 years of running a self-defense school and a training organization for law enforcement, right? I've done a lot of things. I've seen some things work, some things don't work. So I kind of get in a rut and I start looking at things in that lens, right? And I'm a preconceived notion of actions. And it helps having an outsider to say, things are different. This is a variable that you did not have last time. This is what I would do, and really bounce ideas, but someone that has um, no agenda other than your success and has no ulterior motive, and someone that can look at things from an angle that you cannot. I talk a lot about it in terms of leading my own staff as well, right? The millennial that you hired, to do one position is looking at things differently than you would, and sometimes they have the better idea. So in this case, it's a millennial. It's a person that has been there and done that, which gives them a lot more experience and credibility, and those people can really help you. So if you do not have a coach or a mentor, uh, seek one out. And over the past few months, I've been deliberately seeking coaches and mentors. So I have a couple of mentors, people that I respect immensely, from the business side, from leadership side, just from a growth potential side. And I reach out to them and I chat with them, and we going over, like, I can't tell you how many actions I already implemented, things that I would not have done if it was just on me, by following their advice. I've also started looking for paid coaching programs. So there's a lot of programs online. I would certainly suggest you do your homework, um, know what you're looking, what you want to get out of it, who's offering what kind of track record they have. But there's a lot of good business coaches and leadership coaches and life coaches out there. And just see what they have to offer and seek their advice. There's people that I respect. I'm going to give a shout out to one person who's I've been reaching out. He's been super um, generous with his time because as busy as he is, when I send a message, whether it be an email or a direct message on Instagram, he replies immediately or certainly within 24 hours. And the little directions that he gives me have been helpful. So a gentleman named George Bryant, You can find him on Instagram at it's right. It's George Bryant. Um, Look him up. Look out. I'm gonna actually attend his event in the fall for the first time. Looking forward to being in a group with other 50 or 60 people that come from diverse backgrounds, but all seeking the same thing, and that is how to be better business owners. So I'm looking forward to that. So, um, yeah, seek a coach, seek a mentor. And on that note, the third group that you want to is someone that you mentor and coach. So by I would say just by the way life took me over the past few years, being approached by several people and organizations. So some individuals and some, uh, I say organization, it's specifically law enforcement agencies, but um, they approach me and say, can you provide advice on A, B, or C? Or can you give us some guidelines in terms of leadership and so forth? And initially, my thought was, who am I to give that advice, right? That all imposter syndrome type thing. But what I had to learn to do is to take a step back and realize that I've done some stuff uh, throughout my life between my military and law enforcement, EMS, and certainly as a business owner careers. I've learned a thing or two. I made a lot of mistakes, and if I can save someone time from making their own mistakes and help them grow, two things happens. First of all, there's a huge gratification and satisfaction in seeing someone that you advise and coach succeed. If you see the growth in another person, that is a um, tremendous boost to, I don't want to say ego because it's not ego. It just makes you feel so good about yourself in the sense that you were just able to help somebody else. So um, that is the first benefit of you coaching somebody else. The other thing that happens is, as most of you know, the best way of learning something is by teaching it to somebody else, right? That's what we do, teach backs, when we do instructor certification and mock teaching, right? Because you may not grab the skill 100% until you actually try to show it to somebody else and make sure they understand it, and then it clicks in your own mind. And by coaching others or mentoring others, you become a better version of your own self and in your own um, responsibilities, duties, and so forth. So I became a better leader, a better manager, better business owner by providing advice to others. And I've been fortunate enough to now actually make that an official channel of work for me, where I am actively coaching individuals. So if I can help you, by all means, feel free to reach out, and I'll be more than happy um, to give you more information on that and help you as well. So, kind of recapping the three groups, you need a group of your peers, people about the same level as you. Again, that is a group of 3 or 4 people. I keep referring to it as mastermind group, but that is the first group. That's to bounce ideas. You meet regularly, you solve each other's issues, and you help each other grow. The second group is you need your own coaches and mentors. Seek them out. That is typically a one-on-one thing, but you can have more than one coach and mentor. I have several that I respect, and I am actively always looking for more in different aspects of life. I mean, there's coaches for marketing, and there are coaches for business, and coaches for leadership, and coaches for tactical disciplines, and coaches for whatever else you want to do, right? So find what is your world, what is it that you want to get better at, and find coaches in that realm, and you'll see growth in that sense. And then the third group is people that you mentor and coach yourself. So it doesn't have to be an official coaching business. It took me years upon years to get to the point where I feel comfortable in offering advice and actually charging for it. But um, you mentoring your employees, you mentoring your kids, you mentoring a friend that is starting down a path that you've already walked. All of those would have tremendous gratification, and inevitably will help you grow as well. So your homework, should you choose to accept it, uh, your homework is by next week. So if this drops on Monday, what's today's date? 14th. So Monday would be the 17th. That's my math. Yep, 17. So by Monday the 17th, when this drops, you have 1 week. So till the 24th, to come up with at least one of those groups completed. So I would suggest you start with the mastermind type group. Just go and find a couple peers that you respect and you trust. Ask them to join a group where you guys meet for an hour every other week or so. It doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take effort. It doesn't cost anything, and the return is huge. So go and create a mastermind of your own and let me know. So either direct message me, post something on our social media, ideally on Instagram, and hashtag Masada Mastermind. So hashtag Masada Mastermind. I don't know why I'm saying Masada. It could have been Silver Savage Mastermind, right? I'm gonna go with Masada just because we have a bigger reach on Masada right now. But hashtag Masada Mastermind and let us know that you created a group. And if we can help in any ways, Steve or myself, uh, direct message us on Instagram. That's probably the best way of getting a hold of us these days. And we'll be more than happy to assist. So until next time, stay savage.